share a twin.
Wow.
Really? Oh, man, dude. All right, fine. I've got 5 siblings, including my twin brother, John. And I love them all to bits, but Johnny Boy and I have a special relationship. By which I mean, when we were little kids, we beat the snot out of each other. One time, he nearly shoved me through a plate of glass, no joke. And to be fair, I probably bit him a lot that led to something like that. But we also took care of each other. As toddlers, Johnny Boy didn't start speaking until we were about 2, which is like really late. Prior to that, us 2 would baby talk to each other, and I would translate, like, John wants fries, and John wants to watch a movie. Just like that. His first words came out of the blue one day over dinner when he said, "Please pass the salt." And more still, we learned early that if one of us ran in one direction and the other ran in the other direction, our mother could not chase us both. One time, she put us down for a nap, and 15 minutes later, she looked up out the window and saw both of us in our life jackets, which were supposedly locked up in the garage, unlocking the gate to go swimming in the pool behind our house when we were like 4. Fun fact, we were actually born on my mother's 40th birthday, so sometimes I like to joke that she should have kept the receipt, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's a special relationship we share still to this day. And I'll tell you what, when people find out you're a twin, you get some interesting responses. The most common ones are 1, "Oh, I wish I had a twin," and 2, "What's it like being a twin?" I don't know, I've never not been a twin, come on. So now, for all time, let me answer the question according to my own experience. 1, no, you do not want a twin. I assure you, you do not want a twin. Why? Because 2, being a twin, I decided decades ago, it's like being married, except there's no romance, and you can't get a divorce. Which is not to say that being married is a bad thing, but my intuition is that even married couples do not have to deal with the level of conflict and compromise that us 2 had to deal with. I mean, think about it. You live together, you share a bedroom, you share all of your birthday gifts, all of the cake, all of the everything. Everything is shared. You go to school together, you play together, by choice or not. You have similar interests, you have all the same friends, and sometimes, if times are rough, you even have to share clothes. Yes, even boy-girl friends have this issue. So for 18 years, you 2 are all but handcuffed together. If you've seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, you can imagine the escapades and drama that this leads to. So when we turned 18, we were both so sick of each other that we were elated to go separate ways. He went to a small liberal arts school in Arkansas. I moved to the East Coast. No more sharing rooms, or friends, or teachers, or anything. Freedom at last. Except I hated it. That first year away from Johnny Boy, I had a huge identity crisis, like enormous. Suddenly, I had to do all these things that he would do during our life as like a twin set, like kill bugs and ask someone to bring me homework when I get sick, or wake myself up before noon. I don't know how to wake myself up before noon. That is impossible. All of these things that functional individuals just do that I had never had to learn. It was so confusing and weird, and frankly, I missed him terribly. By the time we next saw each other, we were in desperate need of together time. There was one thing that had come to distinguish us by then. After that first year apart, Johnny Boy came out to the family as gay. And let me tell you, I was not surprised. But I was very pleased. Now I could be as twin-tastic as I wanted to, but no longer were we a set. He was excited too. One of his favorite things at the time was to talk about men together and send pictures of the most attractive celebrity specimens he could find to me. He was gay and I was not, and everything was glorious. About that. It was gay. I mean, I didn't know it, but come on. I knew deep deep down. Really, really deep down. But it's impressive how you can like not think about a thing if you don't want to think about a thing. In fact, I'd gotten myself to a point that when I encountered a beautiful woman, I trained myself to think I could never imagine being gay. I didn't actually like boobs. I was jealous of how well endowed all these people were. Right, not gay at all. So apparently everybody outside of my family and myself knew that I was gay. Everyone. Apparently a long time before I did. But all of that changed one cold day in March in the Appalachian Mountains. I was co-leading a group of students that I was working with to Jonesville, Virginia, which is a teeny, tiny, tiny town in the mountains. After 2 days of driving, hearing Justin Timberlake and Taylor Swift on repeat, suffice it to say, the student named Zach was a huge Swift fan. We finally drove up the mountain to where we'd be staying while we worked for a week on rebuilding houses. And at the precipice, waiting for us, was a woman. I took one look at this creature, and I had one thought and one thought only. Holy sweet mother of fuck. She walked up and helped us take the bags out of the van in skinny jeans and a torn sweater. She had this long brown hair waving down under her beanie. And I swear a sweeter West Virginian accent than hers has never existed. It's just not possible. She wins the end. I still refuse to believe I was gay, mind you, but I did a really bad job of proving it to myself. All week I followed this woman around like a puppy dog, or rather a puppy dog trying really, really hard to look cool and sound suave and failing epically. Every time she came by the house my team was working on, I would like hose with my hammer whatever I had. And somehow she was not creeped out by this. We talked together about my work with students and her work with volunteers and how we were both thinking about getting graduate degrees, and we played the guitar together. It was very romantic. Nonetheless, the time came for us to pack up and leave Virginia, leaving my budding romance behind. I was sad puppy despondent for days, weeks, maybe a month. And now I could no longer hide it from myself. I didn't just want to be her friend. I wanted to be her girlfriend with benefits and sex. Now you might be thinking, who better to come out to and seek support from than my own gay twin brother? You would be wrong. No way was I telling my twin. Do you know how much he loves talking about hot guys with me? Like, we're still, can you imagine having spent years living outside of the set, the twin set, and to feel it all coming back for you? Like, not gonna happen. I was not going back to being a matching pair like when our mother dressed us up for tea parties. I was not going to be one half of the gay twins. I would just go through my life being gay on my own time and get myself a beard during family time, and no one would ever have to know, and I would never be twin stuck married again. Then one day, I was getting myself dressed when I felt something kind of lumpish and tender in my breast, about here. Immediately, I went to the doctor and got an appointment to get an ultrasound. The night before the exam, I naturally had a breakdown, because if you get an ultrasound, that means that very day you will die. It was bad. I messaged John online for hours, telling him all about this, and finally, in a desperate cry, I said to him, "If I have cancer, I need you to know that I am gay." And bless his soul, he did not make a big deal about it. He focused on the whole possible cancer thing and was going on about how he would move to Chicago and come take care of me if they found a tumor, and it was really sweet. The good news was that I did not have breast cancer, yay. Once that stressful moment passed, however, John started to act differently. He was acting like that obnoxious cool kid in high school movies, while I was acting like that awkward 12-year-old trying to keep the overflow of hormones in her body from taking over, and really did not want the cool kid to be insisting that I let the hormones out and do things that I would immediately regret. I just didn't want people to know yet. Eventually, he crossed too many boundaries in that department. Then we had a fight of epic proportions. It made that almost being shoved through a plate of glass thing look trivial. As much as I liked having my space and independence, we had normally communicated frequently, at least once a day since entering adulthood, but after this fight, I didn't speak to him for several weeks. Let me just say that when you are constantly in someone's presence for 18 years straight, you get used to having fights and moving on. Again, being a twin for me was like being practice married. No divorce possible. We didn't have a choice. We just had to make things work growing up. No matter how angry I ever got at him or how angry he got at me, no matter what happened between us and no matter how bad things got, no matter how unforgivable some act or word was, we had to get past the hurt or we'd cease to function as human beings. Even if we weren't part of a matching set, we were for each other in a way I've rarely been for a romantic partner or another friend. So finally, I let go. I contacted him, asked if we were ready to talk again. He messaged me back saying, "Are we? It's your decision, I'd like to." He didn't say he was sorry. I knew that he was. And I didn't say apology accepted, because he already knew he'd been forgiven. And we moved on. We support each other, we learn from each other, always. But yeah, I guess that's what it's like to be a twin.